Oh, is that right then?
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Your camera off, for me, please, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Bit antisocial chair, but there we are.
Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock and it's the Licensing and Regulatory Committee meeting. It's a fairly short agenda today. Anyway, do we have any apologies, Richard?
No apologies, Chair, but we do have a message from Councillor Lane. He will be late for the meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Declarations of interest, as and when?
As and when, Chair.
Thank you.
Yes.
I need to confirm and sign the minutes of the previous meeting. Have you all read them?
Yes.
Move.
Moved.
Thank you. Right, we're going to item 4 on the agenda, application to license tuk-tuk as a private hire vehicle. And I think Lee Beach is leading us on this one. Lee, over to you.
Yes, thanks, Councillor Strong. So yeah, I'll read through the report. So Monmouth County Council. Oh, hello.
Sorry. Before we start, we need to say if the applicant is here and introduce ourselves as well before we actually lead into the report. So if Councillor Strong, if you want to introduce all the members and the officers present first of all, and then we'll clarify if the applicant would like to go ahead without any legal representation.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
And the legal protocol as well.
Sorry, Tony?
And the legal protocol as well for this meeting.
Whether we need to, I've been advised we don't need to
Okay.
do that.
All right.
Okay, right. Well, you were speaking, Tony, so if you could introduce yourself, please.
Oh, right. Councillor Tony Easton, Dewstow Ward, member of this committee.
Jim
Councillor Jim Higginson, member of 7 Ward, Caldicott.
and Webb.
And Vice Chairman.
Thank you.
Anne Webb, member for St Albans and Tinton. Thank you.
Yep. Simon.
Councillor Howarth, member for Gilwell, Clerical and Etley Hill. Good morning, Chair.
Thank you. Ruth Edwards.
Good morning, everyone. County Councillor Ruth Edwards, elected member for Intilio Cresceni.
David Evans.
Good morning, Councillor David Evans for West End Ward in Caldicott.
Richard Roden.
Good morning, member for Dixton with Osbaston. Thank you.
Jamie Trehan.
Thank you, Chair. County Councillor Jamie Trehan, member for Overmont Ward, Monmouth. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's all the members that are present at the time for the time being. I think Malcolm Lane is coming later, as Richard said. Okay, over to you again, Lee or Linda.
Yes, so the officers present today are Lee Beach, David Jones and Linda O'Gorman. We've also got members of Democratic Services here today as well. Before we start, I'd like to confirm with the applicant if he is happy to actually continue with the committee without any legal representations, but perhaps if you could confirm that first of all.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, please, I would like to commence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. What will happen now is the officer, Lee Beach, will present the report. Once he's finished presenting the report, he will then, they will be open to questions by the members, and you can also give your view with regards to whether this vehicle would be suitable to operate in Monmouthshire County. So I'll hand over to Lee Beach, the licensing officer, to present the case first of all.
Thank you all. Yeah, so Monmouth County Council, the licensing section, received an application from Mr. Jones for a private hire vehicle. The vehicle in question is a tuk-tuk, and therefore members must determine to issue the licence or reject the application for the licence in accordance with the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1976. To begin, Mr. Jones made an inquiry with the licensing section as to whether he could license a tuk-tuk with Monmouthshire. For the purposes of hire and reward, Mr. Jones was informed that there was no policy in place for Monmouthshire County Council to license this type of vehicle, and that the policy and conditions document that we have would need to be reviewed to accommodate it. The Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act states the council must issue a private hire vehicle licence if they determine the vehicle is suitable in its type, size, design, use as a private hire vehicle, not the appearance of a hackney carriage, in a suitable mechanical condition, safe, comfortable to transport passengers for hire or reward using the tuk-tuk. Mr. Jones would require a private hire operator's licence and a vehicle licence and driver's licence, hackney carriage private hire driver's licence with this authority. Mr. Jones invited members of the licensing committee and the licensing section to view the tuk-tuk, the one that he wants to license, and we're considering today. This vehicle was presented on the 21st of February in Lamfoist, and Councillor Higginson and Councillor Roden inspected the vehicle, sat in the vehicle to gauge a passenger's experience whilst being transported towards Abergavenny and back from Lamfoist. Myself and Linda O'Gorman both were present, and we took photographs of the vehicle. These photographs have been attached as Appendix A. Following the inquiry to license the tuk-tuk, Monmouthshire County Council did then revise its taxi and private hire policy and conditions document to include tuk-tuk and rickshaw vehicles, and the relevant section of the policy has been attached to this report as Appendix B. On the 3rd of July, we received the application for the vehicle to be licensed. As in accordance with 3.4 of the above, it states that the tuk-tuk, electric and cycle rickshaws shall be deferred to the licensing and regulatory committee for consideration. So that's why we're here today. If granted, the applicant would be subject to the policy referred to in 3.4 above. Mr. Jones has confirmed that the tuk-tuk will be used for special occasions and pre-booked business contracts only. The vehicle would be licensed for 2 passengers and will comply with the requirements. The vehicle does hold a MSVA certificate that's been approved by DVSA, and he's also holds a vehicle registration document with the DVLA. The tuk-tuk has passed an inspection at one of our approved garages, and it complies with the appearance and mechanical requirements requested within this policy document. Mr. Jones applied for the private hire operator's license. He already holds a driver's license. Therefore, if approved today, then he could start using the vehicle soon. The vehicle does not resemble a hackney carriage. Mechanically, the applicant has provided sufficient proof the vehicle is fit for purpose. So members must consider the information provided to determine if they are willing to license this type of novelty vehicle for specific private hire use within the area, whilst considering its use, size, design and safety. Okay, so today it's recommended that members consider and determine whether the vehicle, namely a tuk-tuk owned by Mr. Jones, is either suitable to be licensed as a private hire vehicle in Monmouthshire for hire or reward with the application accepted, or the vehicle is not suitable to be licensed as a private hire vehicle for hire or reward with the application refused. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lee, very much. Are there any questions from members? Councillor Higginson.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, as Lee has stated, Councillor Roden and myself, we both visited Landfoist on the date to have a look at this tuk-tuk, and indeed, we, as Lee stated, we did have we were taken for a trip into Abergavenny and back to Landfoist, I mean, Richard, Councillor Roden will speak for himself, but we did talk about it, and for me personally, and I mean, I think Councillor Roden and myself, we were agreed on a particular thing, that it obviously it's a new venture, if you like. But we saw no reason why it couldn't be licensed by Monmouthshire County Council, subject, of course, to there were policy changes needed, which have now been undertaken. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Higginson. Councillor Anne Webb.
Thank you, Chairman. I basically wanted to hear what the people that actually rode on the vehicle felt about it. So perhaps I'd be interested to hear what Councillor Roden has to say too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Webb. We'll go on to Councillor Roden then, if he could comment, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I concur with everything that Councillor Higginson said. The experience was very straightforward, quite pleasurable, and I had no issues regarding the safety or mechanical soundness of the tuk-tuk. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any others who wish to speak? No? Well, perhaps we could hear from Mr. Jones now, the applicant. Mr. Jones. Yeah, you're muted at the moment, Mr. Jones. You're muted.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, and you too. Yeah, so we're looking to set up the business. So we're aiming to do sort of 1 to 4 hour tours throughout the Monmouthshire area. So we're looking to do sort of things like the Three Castles tour, Lantony Abbey, show the industrial heritage of our area. Obviously, I want to do weddings as well, special occasions. Yeah, just offer a unique experience to Monmouthshire.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't know whether any councillors want to ask any further questions. No? Okay, well, I think that... sorry, Councillor Higginson.
Yes, Chairman. If there is no other, if none of the other members present want to speak, I am prepared to move that we accept this policy and the application.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Mrs. Linda O'Gorman.
Yes, thank you for that. I just want to confirm what Lee said with regards to the report, that the gentleman in question has actually complied with the relevant items in the policy with regards to the testing of the vehicle and the mechanical side of the vehicle as well. So I just wanted to reiterate that before you actually go to deliberate in the other meeting and then come back to this meeting.
Okay, thanks, Linda. David Jones, I think you'd like to say something as well.
Thank you, Chair. Just a point of clarity to the applicant, Mr. Jones, please, Chair, if I can. Just in terms of 3.6 refers to pre-booked only and special occasions. I'm just wondering whether, in terms of the safety of the routes, which I'm sure Mr. Jones had regard to, just curious as to what those routes look like in terms of safety. The reason I asked that, Chair, is I was in Wiseman's Bridge, and that there is a tuk-tuk that operates there. I'm sure members will be aware of that place near Saundersfoot. Yeah. And I noticed that the tuk-tuk fella was giving it plenty of revs to get it up the slope at Wiseman's Bridge. So I just think, in terms of those routes and understanding the limitations of a tuk-tuk as compared to Ford Mondeo, what the just to clarify with Mr. Jones, the safety of the routes that he's chosen in terms of his pre-booked and special occasion trips. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, David. Mr. Jones, would you like to come back on that?
Yeah, so all the routes that we've done so far, they've all been pre-driven. So I know I've done sort of 5,000 kilometers now in the tuk-tuk, so I've got a good idea of sort of what the capability of it is. So yeah, every single route that I'm going to be doing has already been pre-driven. So yeah, I know exactly what the vehicle is capable of.
And thank you very much. We wouldn't like a bride to be stranded on the road anyway.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Lee Beach, I think you want to come back in.
If I may, I just wanted to add one other point. Since writing and submitting the report, Mr. Jones has sent through photographs, these photographs have been shared with all the members to demonstrate that he has also fitted the required doors to the vehicle, which is a requirement of the policy, which we didn't originally have when the vehicle was presented for members. So that extra point's been completed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Councillor Ruth Edwards.
Thank you, Chair. Just one thing with the applicant saying he's driven it several times. Do they possibly have a weight limit on the passengers that they would be taking? I mean, yes, you're saying a bigger car is very different to a tuk-tuk. I'm not being causing to embarrass anybody, but I just wondered if there is a weight limit on the capacity for the passengers. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Mr. Jones, would you come back?
Yeah, it is something we are definitely going to have to consider, but we haven't put an exact weight on it yet. But it's that is definitely something that we have to bear in mind.
Okay. Okay, thanks very much. Anyone else like to speak? No? Okay, well, we will leave the meeting now. If you could press the leave button on your screen, and the committee then will discuss the application in detail. Thank you very much. Please leave.
There we are.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to check with Ben. Right, Ben. You ready? Welcome back to the meeting. We have agreed on the application, but our legal officer Ben Davis will read out the actual agreement. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Chair. The committee have considered the application in accordance with section 48(1)(a) of the Local Government and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1976. The committee have considered Monmouthshire County Council's taxi and private hire policy and conditions, in particular Appendix M. The committee have considered the report from the licensing officer, Mr. Beach, and the submissions of the applicant, and resolved to grant the application.
Thank you very much, Ben. Congratulations, Mr. Jones. I hope your business is successful and you may even expand. Who knows? Okay. Thanks very much. Thank
you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree.
Right, we'll go on to item 5 on the agenda. This is the application for street trading consent, Matthews Mighty Bites, adjacent to the Aldi car park, BW Autos, Mill Street, Abergavenny. And again, I think Lee, you're going to lead us on this one. Oh, sorry, I better. Is the applicant here, Linda?
That's what I was just going to clarify, just to make sure that Mr. Bevan has actually joined the meeting first of all.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah, lovely.
Thank you, Mr. Bevan. First of all, look, before we start the meeting, Councillor Strong, if you could introduce the members to Mr. Bevan present. I will then go on to say who the officers are here today, and then inquire with him if he wishes to proceed without any legal representation. So if you could introduce the members first of all.
Yep, thank you, Linda.
Yep.
My name's Brian Strong. I'm the County Councillor for Usk and Chairman of this committee. Jim, would you like to introduce yourself? You're muted, Jim. I'll go on to the next one. Councillor Howarth.
Councillor Howarth, thank you, Chair. Councillor Howarth represents Gilwan, Clydach and Llanelli Hill.
Councillor Eason.
Councillor Eason, do you saw Caldicott, member of this committee?
Councillor Lane, I don't know whether you're here. No. Councillor Ruth Edwards.
Good morning, County Councillor Ruth Edwards, member of the committee and elected member for Lintilio Cresceni.
Councillor David Evans.
Good morning, Councillor Dave Evans, West End Ward, Caldicott, and a member of the committee.
Councillor Richard Roden.
Good morning, Councillor Richard Roden, member for Dixton with Osbaston in Monmouth.
Councillor Jamie Treharne.
Good morning, Jamie Treharne, County Councillor for Overmornar Ward in Monmouth and member of this committee.
And Councillor Anne Webb.
Good morning, member for St Albans and Tintern and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Good morning to all.
So is that all the councillors?
That's all the councillors.
Yep. Hi, Mr. Bevan. Just to also confirm that we have officers, myself, I'm Linda O'Gorman from licensing. We also have officers David Jones and Lee Beach from Public Protection, along with Ben Davis from Legal, Richard Williams, Nicola Perry and Wendy Bernard from Democratic Services also present today. Before we start hearing your application and the report that you have received also, can you confirm that you are happy to proceed today with this committee without any legal representation?
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine.
That's great. So what will happen now is that the licensing officer, Lee Beach, will present the report. Members will ask questions of you, and then you have an opportunity to say about your business venture that you hope to have a street trading consent for today. So what I'll do, I'll hand you over to Lee Beach.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll proceed to read out the report. So Monmouthshire County Council received an application from Mr. Bevan for street trading consent on a yard adjacent to the Aldi car park and BW Autos in Mill Street, Abergavenny, in accordance with Schedule 4 of the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982. The application has been referred to the Licensing and Regulatory Committee due to the proximity of a nearby street trading consent and responses received by the licensing section during the consultation process. The Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act, Section 2, provides the council may grant a consent if they think fit. On the 17th of July 2020, Monmouthshire County Council received the application from Mr. Bevan. This was accompanied by the landowner's consent and is attached as Appendix A to the report. The items, if sold, that the applicant stated in the application are burgers, hot dogs, breakfast rolls, hot and cold drinks. So myself, I informed the applicant that the licensing section at that time had already received an application for street trading consent that was in the vicinity of the pitch that he proposed, and it conflicted with the street trading policy. I made Mr. Bevan aware of this. Mr. Bevan confirmed that he had considered the policy and was aware of the other application. He wished to proceed with this application as he felt that they only intended to sell different types of food and they may only sell similar soft drinks. So therefore, Mr. Bevan submitted the fee and proceeded with the application. The other consent that I just mentioned, the other application referred to in 3.2 of the report, was received by the licensing section on the 28th of May, so prior to Mr. Bevan's application. This application was duly issued on the 1st of August 2020 for a 6-month period agreed by the applicant. This site is the street trader is a grill at the mill, and this consent is trading at the Old Yard, 8 Mill Street, Abergavenny, NP7 5HE is the address. This food catering van is located approximately 70 metres from the location Mr. Bevan intends to trade. The grill at the mill sells the following items: soft drinks, cakes, vegetarian dishes such as chili, and potentially pre-cooked meats such as meatballs and gammon. This has all been stated in the application, and the applicant for the grill at the mill specifically stated in his application that he will not be selling burgers, sausages, fried chips, or other things you'd commonly find on a burger van. So the licensing section, we conducted a consultation period, as we always do with applications, and we had either no reply or no objections from the commercial team of Environmental Health, Heatherley Gwent Police and Highways. We did, however, receive comments which were listed in 3.5. So Abergavenny Town Council raised the issue of there being potentially 2 street traders in close proximity. The planning section had issue with the fact that Mr. Bevan initially wanted to site the van at the site and keep it there permanently. And planning requested that there be planning permission for this. I have checked with the planning officer, and the planning have confirmed that if the vehicle is removed from site and moved, then there would be no requirement to change use of the yard there. Councillor Powell stated that she had been contacted by some local residents there, and she had concerns of safety with a nearby garage. However, ended her comments by saying that she personally has no objections, was happy. The environmental health officer on the nuisance team, he's also been contacted by local residents, and he's stated that in his comments, which are there in the report, and he's proposed that to consider it further, to have a 6-month trial period for this license if granted. So 3.6, the relevant parts of the street trading policy that we have, and Mr. Bevan has seen, are referred to in 3.2 above, but they state Monmouthshire County Council will apply its policy to street trading activities in the area to ensure consistency of decision making. However, each application or contravention will be considered on its own merits, so that individual circumstances, where appropriate, are taken into consideration. Monmouthshire County Council has designated all streets consent streets. Monmouthshire County Council street trading policy aims to create a trading environment that complements premises-based trading, promote fairness and consistency across the county, improve the local environment, be sensitive to the needs and concerns of residents, involve local communities in street trading decisions, control street trading through a fair and proportionate enforcement procedure. The council will carry out this function in respect of controlling street trading activities in its area to protect the public by promoting the following licensing objectives, each of which is of equal importance: public order, public prevention of public nuisance, public safety, prevention of crime and disorder. The policy also states the use shall not be located within 100 metres of an existing shop, restaurant, hot food takeaway, those holding street trading consent and market. So as detailed in the report, there's been a nearby street trading consent issued. There are also takeaways nearby. However, this application is only to 2 p.m. and those takeaways do not operate before that time. There is also in the bus station a cafe. However, depending on the route on which you would cross the A road, it's up to members to consider why or the weight that they would give to that one. So that's why we didn't write that one into the report. The avoidance of nuisance, 3.65. Street trading activity should not present a suitable risk of nuisance from noise, smells, fumes, litter, or the discharge of fluids to households or businesses in the vicinity. And 3.66, when issues cannot be resolved, the application will defer to the licensing and regulatory committee. But we can't resolve the distance, and obviously there's been a request for 6 months to be considered. Therefore, we've asked that members consider this application. Therefore, the application for street trading is approximately 70 metres from the existing trader. However, they believe they're not in direct competition as they're selling different foods and they only sell similar soft drinks, as I said above. Concerns have been raised through the consultation process, as I read out above. And therefore, it's recommended that members consider and determine whether to issue a street trading consent for 12 months, as we do, so standard, to issue a street trading consent for 6 months, as recommended by the Environmental Health Officer, or to refuse to issue the street trading consent on this occasion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Lee. Linda.
Yeah, just wanted to make a couple of points really on the report itself. Just to give you an idea where the actual siting of the pitch is going to be. It is not actually in the main drag going into Abergavenny. If you can just envisage it, it's actually sort of in the industrial estate, sort of behind Aldi. Just so you get a picture of where both these pitches in question are concerning. The other matter is referred to in the report about planning. Obviously, that shouldn't be taken into account today when dealing with the street trading consent. However, the onus will be on the person, if he is granted a pitch, to ensure that planning matters are in place should he either retain his vehicle there or take it away each day. It will be a matter of him to confirm with planning if he does end up sort of leaving the pitch there for any length of time. So I'll be putting that in sort of writing with the consent as well, referring them to the comment made by planning that is in this report. I also noticed on the report it's got 3.63 is referring to sort of 4 elements of licensing objectives. That doesn't really relate to street trading consent. However, in the policy itself, it does refer to nuisance element and safety, because obviously it's paramount that wherever a pitch is, that it's safety for those to attend that pitch, and also the nuisance element is sort of the cleaning up and ensuring rubbish and noise and smells and things like that are sort of to a minimum, and that's actually in the street trading consent policy as well, which if granted today, that would they be subject to basically. So I just want to make those few points before the questions are asked.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, members, do you have any questions? Ruth. Which one? Richard Roden. Richard Roden. Yeah. Richard Roden, I think you've got a question.
Thank you, Chair. Is there any objection from any of the other traders in the area? It wasn't stated that there were, but I'm just checking if there was anything, any hint, any comment made, or anything that, particularly the 170 meters away, might have mentioned. I don't know if you've got anything on that at all. Thank you.
Lee?
It's okay for me to answer that
Yes,
one.
Lee.
Yeah, I've spoken at length with the other trader, and yeah, he basically didn't raise any concerns to me regarding this application, and indeed, as I stated, he feels that he's not going to be selling timber items at all, and therefore it's not concern for him. We don't consult with the actual businesses, so we wouldn't go out through the street trading consultation period and ask businesses for their comments, but they've been, none of those have come forward to us, other than one issue regarding the previous trader on that site, who had a fire, but that turns out was an attack. It was an attack on his business rather than an accident that happened at his burger van. So, but no other objections. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Ruth?
Thank you, Chair. Just one thing, I think perhaps it comes more into planning, but as Linda said, that's a little bit different issue, is the matter of signage. If it's off the main drag, as Linda said, will there be appropriate signage directing people in that vicinity? And, would they be parking and so on? But I dare say that comes under the planning consent more than what we're dealing with today. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ruth. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question? I'd just like to, David Jones.
Sorry, Chair, just in response to Councillor Edwards' query, I know that highways deal with signage on the highway, so if there's an A board or similar request, that's advertising on the highway, so that would be looked at in due course. If I could possibly just add the environmental health issue as well, Chair, which is in the report. The recommendation from environmental health is to, if members are minded to, obviously, to go for 6 months, because the point is made that it's difficult to deal with any nuisance without actually experiencing it firsthand. So that gives an opportunity. I know Councillor Powell referred to a couple of residents that may have some concerns regarding, I think, smell nuisance and possible litter. So that would give an opportunity to look at those factors, and so if it had a time limitation, that would give environmental health an opportunity to review the situation and see if there is any nuisance that both Lee and Linda referred to as part of the street trading policy. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, David. I was just going to raise one point about the 70 metres distance. Is that the 100 metres that we've got is it that just a guide, or is it set in concrete? Perhaps you can let me know, Linda.
Yes, as with all policies, is a guidance document, is not legislation, is a policy that's adopted by Monmouthshire County Council. You can go against the policy, but obviously you'd need to give good reasons as to why you're going against the policy that was originally adopted by Monmouthshire Council, and each application has to be treated on its own merit, so that's the decision that you would need to discuss when you actually deliberate.
Okay, thank you, Linda. Are there any other questions? No? Linda?
Yes, just if you want to hear from Mr. Bevan, the applicant, with regards to his business venture, if there's no further questions from members, if Mr. Bevan would like to say about this.
Sorry to interrupt, Linda. Okay. I think Tony Easton would like to say something first of all.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just one question around the point you made about the 70 metres, 3.6.4. has there been any? I've read the comments. There doesn't seem to be any objections from within the 100 meters of that point. Am I correct in that? In reading that?
So again, we during the consultation period, we don't ask local businesses for their comments. I only know from speaking with the other street trading consent holder that he didn't feel that it was a direct competitor. We didn't ask him whether he was happy or not. We didn't invite any comments from him or any other businesses in the vicinity, because we do not do that as a rule of our street trading policy, and how we stated in the policy how we conduct consultation, and we only go to the relevant sections for town councillor and the local member, as well as the relevant departments of Monmouthshire County Council, the police, for comments.
I can see the comments of Councillor Powell, but this is also publicly available to anybody within that vicinity, so nobody's come forward. You say you don't go looking for comments, but nobody's come forward with comments to you then.
I believe that word had spread to some residents, and therefore they did speak with the Environmental Health and Councillor Powell. However, we do not, through street trading consultation, we do not publish, or the applicant doesn't publish any notices, or it doesn't appear in the paper as it would with some other types of licenses that we process.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Higginson.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. The message on my laptop has been breaking up, but do I understand that Councillor Maureen Powell doesn't have any issues with it, any objections? Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, okay, fine. That's what I wanted to establish. And because Councillor Powell is very familiar with the area, and of course, I believe that is her area anyway. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Linda, Mr. Bevan, I think you want to ask in now, Linda, is that right?
Yes, thank you, Chair. If Mr. Bevan can actually say about his business venture and how he's going to manage it.
Hi, everybody. Well, I'm looking to start a burger van fast food restaurant down in Mill Street. As I say, I've been listening to your comments. The van will be moved every day into a lockable area, which is slightly to the left, in behind lock gates. As I say, I'd be looking to start serving at 7:30 till 2 o'clock. After that, which then I will move the van and then clean up. I am able then to clean up underneath the van and around the area. I do have access to running water and toilet around the backside of Mirage. I have been allocated 3 car parking spaces to the left-hand side of Mirage for any customers that decide to come and does not need to block up the road. Yeah, I got a drainage system to wash the water down, to wash the area down after serving. Yeah, so I'm looking to run a nice business up until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bevan. Are there any questions for Mr. Bevan from members?
Sorry, Chair, is that 7 days a week? Can I just clarify? You know, 7
Sorry, no, it's Monday to Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Eason. Are you muted, Tony?
Sorry, Chair. Yes, sorry, I was. I'd ask the applicant, will he be having any tables and small chairs outside his unit, as I've seen, say, other parts within Monmouthshire?
I'm not looking to have them as such. I might just put a little table that somebody can put a coffee on when they're stood there talking. But I'm not planning to have tables and chairs as the Grill and the Miller's got for picnic tables outside.
Okay, thank you.
No one else? No other questions? No? Okay, well, I think we can probably leave to deliberate on this application. If you could leave the meeting now, please, councillors, and we'll go into the other method that we have. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Bevan.
Thank you.
Well, I can hear you, so.
We are online now, so thank you all for waiting. Mr. Bevan, we have agreed to allow you a 6-month licence.
Thank you very much.
And Mr. Ben Davis, the legal officer, will now read out what our deliberations have resulted in.
Thank you, Chair. The committee, in considering this application, have considered the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982, Schedule 4, Section 2, which provides the council may grant consent if they think fit. They've also considered the street trading policy in conjunction with the report provided by the licensing officer, Mr. Beach. The committee have considered the issues of potential litter and noise nuisance in the area to local residents, and consider that this needs to be carefully monitored. The committee have considered the council street trading policy, in particular the distance between another street trader in the area. It appears that the two traders are not in direct competition, and on this occasion the committee feel they will relax that particular policy, but this will be kept under review during the 6-month period. The committee have taken on board the concerns raised within the officer's report in making their decision on this occasion. The committee have considered the applicant's submissions today. In particular, the committee considered the applicant's submission on clearing and cleansing the site whilst it is in operation, and would expect this site to be kept clean and tidy at all times whilst in operation. The committee have considered, as mentioned, the concerns within the report, and have been mindful of those concerns when making this decision to grant a 6-month street trading licence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Well, thank you, Mr. Bevans. I'm sorry we kept you waiting so long. But could I thank all committee members and all officers for the amount of work they've shown on this application. Wish you every success with your business, Mr. Bevan, and look forward to possibly visiting your establishment when we're hungry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all of you. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Right, the only item left is the date of the next meeting, which is on Tuesday, the 10th of November at 10 a.m. Thank you all very much for all your work. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for your
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you.